Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Sal, and that is Dylan, and this is your home for three guys talking in a podcast format about your favorite superhero TV shows, movies, and video games. Everything from discussions, rumors, theories, and analytical reviews. Today we're going to be doing a theory discussion about, what are we talking about, Sal? What's going on?
I don't know. What do you mean? Kingpin! When I was a boy, I was in the Hawkeye show, and people didn't believe I was there, but I was.
I crushed a guy's
Totally
skull
me.
with a car door.
With a car door.
It was awesome.
I choked Ben Urich to death, but I bet that didn't happen in this universe.
Okay, so for anybody who didn't
Probably
watch
not.
our other video real quick, Echo's origin involves her father being killed. His last words to his murderer are, take care of my daughter. Kingpin is the guy who murders him and then says, hey, I'm your uncle, and then raises Echo. So the fact that they name dropped the name Uncle 3 or 4 times and then proceeded to talk about how much power he has and that he's the guy on top and that he...
Yep.
It very obviously looks like we're going to get Kingpin. This
Right.
lines up with other rumors that have gone on that supposedly Charlie Cox is in No Way Home, and that supposedly we're getting a Daredevil season 4, and that most of that entire cast has come back, and it actually gives us more credence and reasoning behind why there's an Echo show if they're able to use the Daredevil cast, because now Echo's not just going to feel like a weird standalone, it'll feel like the entry point for the Daredevil fans to come back into the MCU.
You know what I'm going to say? Just real quick. I just thought of this. You know how there was... Do you guys remember back at the Phase 3 announcement video where the first movie they announced was Captain America Serpent Society?
Yeah.
And then at the end of that presentation, they were like, oh, just kidding. That sucks. It's Civil War. And everyone lost their minds.
Yes.
I think they had to tell investors that a show was happening, so they called it Echo.
Yes.
But
You think it's Daredevil?
it's Daredevil. Yeah.
So
Oh my
I was
God.
going to bring that because I brought that theory up yesterday when I was talking to the other guys. My theory right now is one of two things involved in this. Echo is there is a legal reason they can't use Daredevil season 4 yet, or there's a marketing reason they don't want to, or alternatively, Echo is the placeholder for Daredevil season 4.
That's what
That
I
would
think.
be sick. Let me tell you something. If it actually it goes farther reaching than that, because it could also indicate like the more collaborative nature between Sony and Marvel, because like if Daredevil is in No Way Home, then we know that Marvel can use Daredevil. But we can't show Daredevil yet because it'll blow the lid on all the other things we're doing.
Right.
But we already shot this Hawkeye show, and Kingpin is in this episode we watched. And, you know, so it's like we can't show... We can play with it, we can tease it. But, like, man, if you're going to make a big, like, you know, Phase 4, 5, whatever, Disney Marvel push, and drop a major character in a Sony movie, then it means, like, everything's firing on all cylinders. Like, everything's working.
Yeah.
You know? It's kind of amazing. I'm like, oh, like that's what I want. I just want collaboration between all these groups to make what we want to see. A unified Marvel universe. That's all I want to see.
It really seems like at this point, people have just kind of recognized the juggernaut that is the MCU and have started to be like, look, you can do whatever you want at this point. Like, obviously give us money for it. But, you know, like it seems like Marvel is finally, like, they're not going to the media and being like, oh, man, we can't have Spider-Man because of reasons. But, like, now it's just, like, ever since that moment where the Russos were like, no, we're going to put Spider-Man in our movie whether you like it or not. Just slowly it's been like, we Echo's in our show, then Kingpin is too. I don't care how. Just make it happen.
Right. Now, they did have, I remember the Netflix deal, and we've far exceeded the time frame that Marvel was legally obliged to not use any Netflix characters, so they can use them if they want to. But I wonder, Benny, like you said about how about legal reasons, like about using the actors who played those characters on Netflix shows. But at the same time, if the show's done and you know you canceled it, and we legally can use anybody we want, then we're just going to go do that. And
So the running theory right now is there's going to be a big cameo. I guess the post-credit scenes start next episode. There's going to be a big cameo at the end of it. So no one knows what that means. If it's going to be Vincent D'Onofrio, because also have Yelena Belova supposed to show up at some point.
Yes.
Right.
So the director has come out and said the post-credits for 4 will have a cameo. So
Okay,
my
cool.
current theory is one of three things is about to happen. Okay? We're going to get a full-blown Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio moment.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to be next week. So if Charlie Cox is in fact in No Way Home, and that is the first Daredevil exists in the MCU moment that they want,
Yeah.
I think that if they do show him, it will be after the release date of No Way Home.
Oh.
To give that...
That would be some real coordination, man. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, because this show has, 3 more episodes left. No Way Home happens in, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, so think about this for a moment, though. This show wasn't supposed to be out now. This was
No.
supposed to be out in July, and I think originally COVID year. Wasn't it supposed to be like
Yep.
2021 was the original idea? So to show Kingpin that early,
Yeah.
I feel would have been weird. I think we might get the name drop Kingpin by the end of the show. Like
Yeah.
the big reveal is going to be Kingpin or Wilson Fisk will be name dropped, but I don't think we're going to get Vincent D'Onofrio on the screen. If
He's on the screen in this episode.
but we haven't seen his face. So
No, but we heard his voice and saw his hand.
what I think is happening is that was some of the post-credit stuff they added in after the fact.
Oh.
So if it does exist, it wasn't in the original version. They were just going to
I was
call
gonna
him
say
Uncle.
they could have easily added that in.
could have added that later. Yeah.
If he shows up on screen with the Hawkeyes or Echo, then I'll be like, okay, that was planned all along. But if
Right.
he remains separate, like we just see him in a building, like, oh, my uncle's name is Wilson Fisk, and Hawkeye goes like, what? And then we cut to like a penthouse, and he looks out the window, and you're like, Vincent D'Onofrio! That was added later. That was totally added
Yeah.
later.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that they were just making the show as they wanted to make it. Like if Kingpin's involved, we put Kingpin in the show and they shot
Right.
whatever they needed to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's also like there is a worry about overshadowing the actual like
Show.
Hawkeye, the show.
Yes.
And like there's so many, we've talked about this before, is that there's so many characters that are supposed to show up and have shown up so far that it's like, we worry about in a 6-episode show taking away from the
Our
actual
main
headlining
characters,
characters.
yeah.
So I love that Kingpin is back, but I would be very okay if this is all we see of him for this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I was
Just,
saying. I'm wondering if that...
he's here.
Now, I have another theory.
Right.
I have another theory.
Okay.
And this goes back to Amy Pascal being crazy and Kevin Feige not giving her a comeuppance.
Yeah.
Let's assume Daredevil's in No Way Home. Kevin Feige will not let her reveal the Daredevil reveal in Sony.
That's fine. I think that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because it's like, look,
What I'm saying is the episode 4 reveal is Vincent D'Onofrio. That was Kevin Feige ensuring this was
Yes.
coming out before Spider-Man.
I think that's true because we are dealing with a network of egos.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
these people do need to have like wins, even if nobody cares. But
Even if
them.
it's by a week, he'll
Right.
have it. Like, no, Disney
Yeah.
Plus shows you Daredevil. You need Disney Plus. Like that.
Dude, they're all in on this on the Disney Plus thing.
That's what I'm
Like, They
saying.
need to justify its existence in a big bad way. So yeah, I could see them being like, yeah, you could have gone to the theaters exclusively to see Daredevil, but like you knew Daredevil was in No Way Home on Disney Plus.
Right, exactly. Like if you have Kingpin over here, you know Daredevil's showing up. So
Exactly.
this is where you got that information. Like so those are all my and obviously I've got a lot of theories on this because it could go any way, any direction.
Yeah. I think we're getting a full blown Vinny D'Onofrio as Kingpin in this show, but I think that to dovetail off what you said about how we don't want to overshadow any of the show. It's only going to be like a penthouse shot,
Yeah.
or in service to the plot about Echo, because I don't know, man. I think Echo's getting a show, and I don't.
She
really
is. No,
want-
they confirmed that.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like it's not
It's
a
not
red
Daredevil.
herring.
It is.
Oh,
It's
oh,
not
so
really
you think
Daredevil.
it's-
I think Echo's getting a show. I think that like
Yeah.
I think the optics on being like, we tricked you. We told you that
That's
like an
very
indigenous
fair.
person with a disability who is getting their own show is not really getting a show. It's this white guy. Like I feel like the optics on that are
That's true.
problematic at best. I don't necessarily agree. I'm just kind of like,
It's
I feel
it's
like
definitely,
I don't know if they put themselves in that kind of corner.
right, especially modern Disney. Like
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
for sure. It's a tough call to make, and I think
Yeah.
like, you know, at the end of the day, like, because the rumors are pointing two ways. Like, either Echo's getting her own show and it's devoid of anything Daredevil, or she is getting her own show, but also it's Daredevil season 4.
Oh
So,
no, it
like,
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I could see. No, I think it'll. If anything, the show will be called. If they change the name at all, it'll be Daredevil and Echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that was my other idea with if Echo is not just a hidden name, they're actually going to give Echo a show, which I didn't even think about that. The representation, the representation of Echo alone is huge. So to give her a show would be huge, and that's what Disney's kind of do right now. They're trying to create a superhero for everybody, which I am not against at all. I think it's an admirable goal in a world where every superhero is white.
Yes.
To create shows around characters to give everyone someone to look up to, I'm all on board with that. I didn't even think about that when it came to Echo, because I've never really looked at Echo in that like mentality. Like, oh, Echo is definitely, I believe, Native American, right? That's
Yes,
okay.
Native American. Yeah.
But or not paraplegic, but she's missing one limb.
Yeah, which is new.
Yeah,
well,
that's
I
a
didn't
new
even
addition.
Realize that.
Yeah.
That's not in the comics.
No,
That's not at all.
That's not in the comics. It's like no, she's here. She's deaf and
Oh yeah,
in this-
no, I remember
she's-
that now. I completely forgot about it, which I guess is
yeah,
good.
no,
because it's
Yeah,
not
right.
like
it's not really irrelevant.
doesn't
but,
matter.
like,
But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I agree with you, and they could use the Echo show to show her journey. And Daredevil, Elektra, Kingpin, all are there, and that then backdoors into Daredevil season 4.
sure.
Because maybe they've got something else going on, and it's like, oh, we're gonna bye Echo. I hope you enjoyed your 6-episode limited series. You know, like,
Right, because there's not a lot of Echo going on. Like Echo is a
Yeah.
supporting character in a Daredevil show, in a Daredevil book.
Yeah.
and
Now she's the
she's
Phoenix.
Phoenix. They're not gonna do anything with that. Like they're not gonna make Echo Phoenix. It's not like the Guardians are
No.
gonna pick her up and take her with them. Like,
that
So-
would be epic, though.
yeah. Well, what they really need to do, tying it back into Hawkeye, the cameo is going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy because Mantis and Swordsman get together.
you're really on this, huh?
I'm just saying, it's the only thing that Swordsman does is
That's true.
he hooks up with Mantis, and they make Sequoia,
And it makes a the way you
which
said
nobody
that.
cares about.
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
No, I know.
That's what happens.
So it's just, I don't know.
Just
It's
there.
interesting to see what they're doing with Kingpin, Daredevil, but this does lead credence to all of those rumors that Sal and
Oh,
I
yeah.
found on that website of like 1,000,000,001 rumors. So do you think all the other ones are accurate about Hugh Jackman and the Rogue
No.
actress coming
No.
back? And
No.
I mean, in a world of you can say anything you want and maybe you'll be right, saying that Kingpin is coming back, like, and Charlie Cox is Daredevil, who are probably the two most beloved people out of the Netflix stuff, that's
Yeah.
such a safe bet.
Right. Oh, two actors who aren't in much, who are young enough to keep
Right.
being those characters, who were all universally like loved by everybody. Yeah, weird.
All of this makes me just like I have like childlike joy and wonder about seeing Charlie Cox in a suit show up in like everything. I just
Yeah.
want him to show up. I want the scene, the satisfaction, classic good scene in anything where a lawyer shows up and shuts down like an interrogation.
Yes.
Please have that be his introduction for someone.
Yeah, well, they're making that She-Hulk show, and there's rumors that he's going to be
Yes.
in that as well. And it's like, yeah, that's I think when
I
you're going to
want
see
that.
full-blown
I have
Daredevil.
have you noticed this trend with Marvel? Like they did the 3-movie deal with everyone initially, and then it became the
Yeah.
8-movie deal for cameos, and now it just seems like, so you're just signed for life.
Well, just like I think that the signing is more just like, well, okay, we have a contract in place with an understanding that we'll pay you a lot if you come back.
Do you think Marvel/Disney was Mephisto the whole time? And all these actors are making deals with the devil.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Now here's my question. There's rumors, speaking of rumors and stuff, there's rumors about Kingpin already that like they want a more comic accurate Kingpin. And so it is Vincent D'Onofrio, but he has to wear a fat suit, or that they have to use CGI to make him as huge as he is in the comics. Do you buy that? Do you want that?
No,
No, on both fronts.
Same.
No, I think he's fine the way he is. I mean,
Me
I think
too.
Spider-Verse did a good job of taking that size and to take it to a comical level.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I
into
think
the
the
Spider-Verse.
thing about like the point of making Kingpin that large is it's a cheap and quick way in a visual format to make him seem imposing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for anyone who has seen the Daredevil show, and hopefully,
He's imposing.
Yeah, no, he definitely is.
You're afraid of that guy, like,
Right.
So it's not.
He's such a
You
coiled
could do
spring
2 seconds
in
of
every
legwork.
scene.
Yeah, to either remind people of that, or for people that haven't seen it, like, do something.
What
Yeah, to
if
make
it
him,
goes
like,
like
just-
Hawkeye's like Kingpin, and it cuts to like a 2-second clip of him just slamming a guy's head the door?
Oh my god. Yeah.
That would be very on brand for this show.
Yeah, I know that that I think that given the rating and the kind of sanitation of Disney, in this
we
case
won't
it'll
see
be
that.
just like we're going to have Hawkeye, because Hawkeye was talking about like you don't want to get involved with these people. Like he's clearly indicating Kingpin, and it's like just the fear of Hawkeye of Kingpin will be the like all the context you need for how
Yeah, that's
scary
enough.
he is.
Yeah.
And then the performance of D'Onofrio being like,
Right.
and they're like, whoa, that dude is gonna lose it. He's gonna pop off.
Says everything through gritted teeth, like they're
Yeah.
just a fraction of a second away from losing everything.
I will lose
Seriously.
it if we get a scene where he actually shows up and talks to him, and he's like, "Hello, Clint." You know,
Yeah.
like, if we get something like that, you can leave now, Clint, or
Yeah.
I'm going to tear you all down. Something like that, and that's like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just so excited to bring these characters in, because after seeing that episode and being like, oh, that's him, I just went on a tear, and I was like, I just started watching scenes with him in Daredevil, and I'm like,
Yeah.
these are so great. That scene where, yeah.
I rewatched most of Daredevil earlier this year, and I didn't finish the rewatch, but now I really, really want to, just because
Yeah.
it's such a good show, man.
Yep.
And to see any of it be salvaged and be able to like finally get to play in the universe that it was always supposed to be in is like such a
Yeah.
cool idea, and I'm so glad that it's hopefully actually happening.
I think that was the greatest tragedy of the Netflix shows, because they were like, no, it's in the same universe, but we're going to kind of keep them separate.
it's not.
And then we
Yeah,
find
but
out
it's
the
just
reason
not.
they were kind of keeping it separate is because they wanted to be able to go, and we're done with you. Like, and that's that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just
Yeah, it all happens like a week after the Battle of New York.
Avengers.
It never
Yeah.
progresses.
Right. Which I'm okay with if they ever actually acknowledge that it was. But like,
Right.
you could tell the MCU is like, those shows never happened.
Yeah.
Those are not in this universe.
it's going to be interesting if they do some kind of change with that, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I was watching Punisher, and I was like, they're never going to do this.
I was thinking that too. I was like, I would love to see John Bernthal back, but it's like, no, they're just not.
just not
I don't think
gonna
Disney
do
has
that.
any interest in the Punisher right now.
I think the Russos do, because I know that they were talking about it. He's like,
Oh,
you
sure.
know, they're like, oh, no, he was driving the van. I'm like, yeah, right. But
no, he wasn't.
Yeah, no, he wasn't, and you're not going to do that. But I think they might bring John Bernthal back if they ever did Punisher, but it's
wouldn't-
going to be, like Punisher hunting Spider-Man. It's not going to be
Yeah.
all the things he does in all those shows.
No,
where
absolutely
he's just screaming his head off and cutting people's heads off. I'm like, no.
If they do that, he'll be on Hulu.
Fine. Fine. Or they'll make a movie and
Yeah.
they'll put it out through like whatever, other company Disney owns, they could put out R-rated movies. But I was watching that rooftop scene between Daredevil and Punisher,
Oh my God, so good.
and I'm like, there's nothing like that from the MCU at all. Like
Totally.
at all. Just two dudes yelling at each other.
Yep.
And like using real language. I was like, and it's a Marvel concept, the concept of like right and wrong, killing versus not killing. And I'm like, this is actually a tentpole of your whole universe, and I know you're not going to go this hard.
It's just, a scene in the MCU where two characters of differing ideologies who are both incredibly flawed and no one is portrayed as correct and good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
No.
No.
Go watch Daredevil.
Yeah, go watch Daredevil though. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get something like more joy. Like more joy in those
I just
shows.
want joy in my show.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll take it, but I also want them to be like treated appropriately.
Yeah.
Like if you do Punisher, I don't think we're ever gonna get that Punisher ever again.
No.
Which is a shame. But we can imply it, I guess.
If they did, that would be a whole new era of Disney programming.
right,
Over there
where they're
just
like,
get,
screw it.
Here's what we're getting out of the Netflix shows. We'll get Zdarsky Daredevil, and we'll
Yeah.
get Frankencastle. That's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, we open it with like a kind of like really edge pushing Punisher sequence, and then he gets cut up by Wolverine.
Yeah.
And
oh shit! What a backdoor.
Yeah. and then the monsters of the Marvel Universe put him back together. What? Yeah, no, we're introducing the Man-Thing and Morbius. And...
all of them. They're all here.
Oh, Morbius. Hey, we got them.
Yep. But all right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode of Absolutely Marvel and DC. We are Benny, Sal, and Dylan. We have multiple discussions a week about, in a podcast format, about your favorite TV shows and movies and video games right here in the world of Marvel and DC. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time right here.